Okay, welcome back. And we're looking at the president's message of hope, and in particular, renewed hope around this Easter. Wale in Houston, Texas, has called in. Good morning, Wale. Thank you for calling in. Thank you.
Yeah, Uncle Yori, I called this morning to give kudos to your two first callers. They've spoken so well. I watched a program this morning, and I heard a pastor condemning what the president has said about the Easter message, saying the president don't have the right to teach them or tell them what to preach to the audience, what to preach to the Nigerians. Hello?
I can hear you, Wale. Please continue.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So, saying because the president is telling them to say good, to preach good about Nigerians to their audience. And the pastor was saying this morning, this is the pastor or apostle or whatever I'm calling, saying the president don't have the right to tell them what to do, what to say, what to preach, how to do their job. But that's aside. What I want to say, like your two callers have called and said, is the body language of the president is speaking very good of him. That tells you this is a man that is willing to do something. If he's going there to lie to Nigerians, he will be romancing them and doing what will please Nigeria. This is a man with a character. He knows for you to respect Nigeria, you have to go all the way back, the hardship. But what can the president to do now is to balance all the market sellers. Because the dollar is going down now. They were complaining it's the dollar that makes the price of the food, of the commodities to go up. Now that it's going down, the president needs to checkmate them. Because the Nigerians have that problem. When the price of commodities goes up, it never comes down.
Yeah.
If the president can put a force to the market, I think everything will be good. And I thank you very much for the good job you're doing, Yori.
Thank you.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, Wale. That's very kind of you. Well, indeed, you heard it there. I didn't catch the particular program he's talking about, but the president has said it, and he has said it. That's what he said. Don't curse Nigeria. Don't badmouth Nigeria. Don't preach against Nigeria. Well, if some men of the cloth feel, you see, again, the president is a Democrat. So he will say what he has said, which is to give us all hope. And if somebody feels that, well, they don't think he has a right to speak about that, so be it. People will look at the situation and take what they will from it. The president doesn't want Nigeria badmouths. He doesn't want people to curse Nigeria. Sometimes we play too much. We as Nigerians, we joke too much. And I think the president realizes that because we say things that we don't even mean in our heart. Because you can't be a national. You can't be a Nigerian national and be saying some of the things people say. But any Nigerian will know, we know among ourselves that he doesn't mean it. That's how we're just talking. We're just talking carelessly. Well, the president is saying, maybe I'm not exactly a preacher. Can we get a bit more spiritual in our talk? Don't be cursing Nigeria. Wish it well. Because we certainly are going to be doing everything that we can, I imagine, is his mindset. And so you people out there, let your words conform with that whole aspiration that I'm sure you yourself have. How can somebody be bad-mouthing Nigeria now and you want it to be better for Nigeria? I don't think that the president was saying anything different from that. But that is without prejudice to the right of the men of the cloth who are reported to have taken exception at the president asking men at pulpits to please say a good word for Nigeria, about Nigeria. There is much that is wrong with us. Do we still need to continue at the pulpit to be talking about those ones?
Well, you must understand that some people speak from the standpoint of anger, right? And some also speak from the viewpoint of flesh. When you are in custody of the pulpit, in custody of faith, you should speak from the standpoint of the doctrine of your belief, not what you want to say, right? You are only amplifying what your belief stands for.
Yes, sir. But I don't even want us to let it not seem that we are having a program on what this man of the cloth or that one said. No, let's just leave it. The president has said his own. They have said his own. The men of the cloth who spoke have said their own. The president is not going to engage. He's not going to engage in words. I don't see what the president has done that is wrong. Don't preach against Nigeria. End of story. Good morning, Ada in Jos.
You're getting for too long. Good morning to Commander Ada calling from Jos Statistics. Happy New Month and Easter Monday.
Happy Easter Monday.
Yes, I've listened to the whole conversation. I think the problem with Nigeria is we don't have God in the center of whatever we are doing.
Okay.
The full message of Easter, the focus there is on love. And it's about sacrificial love. And then it's not a self-centered kind of love. Or a love that is centered around the political affiliation or whatever. It's about humanity. If we look at it from that point of view, there will be equity, justice, and fair play. And that will help to reset Nigeria. So if you ask me, we need spiritual rearmament, to rekindle our family values. The family system, the values, it has broken down. That's what has led to all these insurgencies, right, left, and center. We just have to get back to that. So whether the people of the people, whether they like to hear that or not, they just have to, So all this idea of breathing only prosperity and not laying emphasis on the family values, it should stop. That is why we're having issues. It has got to a point that Easter celebration or maybe Salah celebration, at a point it has become a kind of ritual. Each time it comes, we talk about the same thing. What progress have we made? What are the indices? And the part of the government, you have to look for policies that will give people that renewed hope. What is happening in Niger Delta? Renewed hope. How are we going to have that hope? Many presidents have sent people there, their military, to go there and make sure they stop the oil theft. That place is highly militarized, both by private and both by the government. Yet the theft is continuing to the extent that we now have to resort to importing crude from America. What are we talking about? I'm not talking about importing, refined oil. This one is crude now. That's why it's getting into. That is because we're not even committed. We're not patriotic as a people. It's really unfortunate the way we are going. Let's not go for Nigeria. It will get better.
Thank you very much, Ada. Thank you very much. God bless you. It's not a word that you'll hear from me. I'm not a man of the cloth, but I was so happy with your message, and it is in the spirit. So maybe you'll excuse me and forgive that one time when I've said that on air. But I really feel like saying that to Ada because she used an expression, spiritual rearmament. We need spiritual rearmament. Ada said it. She's a Nigerian. We've spoken with a reverend this morning. Indeed, he was saying the same thing using different words. And men and women of the pulpit are saying it up and down, that we need a changed mind. I suppose that's what spiritual armor. In fact, one respected man of the cloth from years back used to speak about a national spiritual rebirth was what Nigeria needs. And it's all about, Ada was talking there about, it's about love in this season. It's about renewed hope. And that is what the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was seeking to put across when he was appealing to both Nigerians and even those who are able to stand at the pulpit. Please, cut Nigeria some slack. Cut Nigeria some slack.
Can I be allowed to give you
yes, sir, 2
examples in the Bible?
Sure.
One was Moses.
Okay, so you're going to get churchy. I think it's allowed on Easter Monday. Get a bit churchy.
I'm not judging anybody. Just
church, as in church.
Oh, fine. I'm a Christian.
Yes.
2 examples in the Bible, and 1 example in recent time, and 1 in Nigeria that just passed. Now, the 2 examples in the Bible, if you have read about when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, and they got to the mount, and all of that. Mm-hmm. And after the tablet was given to him, mm-hmm, the laws were given by God, and he got angry and did some certain things. Of course, we know the consequences and all of that. I won't say beyond that. We know the consequences. Yeah. So men of God should also read part of that. Now, the second one is to Elijah, when he also did some actions, carried out some actions that was not in tandem with how God would have wanted it. of course, there were consequences.
Indeed.
And all of that.
Indeed.
So men of God must also read about that.
We need to.
So that we don't get carried away
Exactly.
by issues. Then look at the Pope. Look at the Pope recently. From the message of the Pope, he did not chastise or blacklist the warring faction, Palestine, Israel, and what have you. What he's calling is for peace all across the world. In Nigeria, the president have done something that is very noble. We have presidents in the past that looked the other way when similar thing happened, and the whole community was almost wiped out.
Indeed.
But when this happened, the president stood firm, one, by the Constitution, two, to pacify everybody, and to also say that don't carry out actions out of normalcy, right? That don't go punishing people who have committed no wrong.
Indeed.
But let's focus on what had happened.
Being a leader. Professor Edmund in Enugu, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Yuri.
Thank you for calling in.
My pleasure.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, your speaker, we are, the man there is still talking.
No. You have the floor now.
Yes, it's okay. I'm following you right now.
Well,
yes, in response to the president's
plea
message,
yes,
and the issue of in response to the president's Easter message and the renewed hope agenda, coming from the background of somebody in the academia, we all know that for this country to be in the place it ought to be, education has to be in the forefront.
Okay.
Education has to be the forefront of our development and industrialization. But a situation where professors and lecturers are continuing saying it are being owed 4.5 months. I wonder what hope is going to renew. He himself, the president, he has to sacrifice. He has to sacrifice. He has to renew the hope of the academia. Again, you cannot expect a responsible citizenry in an irresponsible governance system. So, this issue of renewed hope is a very beautiful idea. But that renewed hope must have to come from the center.
Okay.
The center must have to show sacrifice before it trickles down the lower ladder. So I'm still saying, lecturers' salary, retail salary, lecturers in federal universities, their salaries have to be paid. I said it some time ago, last week.
Yes, you did.
The last pay rise I got as a professor was in 2008. Up to this moment, I'm still receiving the same salary I received some 14, 15, 16 years ago. Then what hope are we renewing? So this is my point of view.
Thank you very much, Professor. Appreciate you, Professor Edmund, for calling in again and throwing that into the pot. What we're talking about. There's so many reforms that are necessary, and I suppose they're going about it. But look, the professor just spoke there. Did he say 14, 15 years ago, the last time? Same salary since then. These things happen. The professor, you can't add to what he has said. He was so, clear. There are areas that need to be addressed in our society. So once again, Professor Edmund, we thank you for your service, to the nation, and, the needful will be done. Let it not be too late. That's the important thing. Okay, we're on the happy, topic of Easter Monday, where Christ is risen. It's a message of love, Ada said it. But I go back to Ada's spiritual rearmament. In other words, we need to stop thinking the way we are thinking out of our body and out of our flesh. And become, I think it's just big grammar. Spiritual rearmament is just big grammar for, stop thinking about ourselves and think, the way the Lord taught us to think. Think about love your neighbor, love the other guy as like yourself. Do not do unto others what you don't want them to do unto you. And those very, very simple principles, by the time you sit down, you can meditate on each one of them for more than 20 hours. And if you do so, perhaps we'll arrive at, no, you don't even need to go all that way before you can take Ada's advice that Nigeria, and not just Ada, also the president, that Nigeria should be in for a round of spiritual rearmament and begin to look at things, in the right way. And that's the renewed hope that the president is saying that we have to focus on, we have to concentrate on. There might be small, scant evidence of it now, but I think it was you who said it, or was it George or somebody, that the president is focused. He's focused on this, renewed hope idea. Others called it a spiritual rearmament. Somebody else called it a national spiritual rebirth. I guess what we need to just do is just say we're very happy to be alive, to witness the 2024 Easter Monday, and look at all the hope that is on the ground. You need just very little imagination to see that from what Tinubu and his administration are doing, you could extrapolate that and be prayerful and see that Nigeria will indeed turn the corner.
Well, there's nothing wrong in self-evaluation. Time in, time out, we need to evaluate ourselves, evaluate our character and our workings. If truly it will better the lot of everyone.
Yeah.
And if not, then you have to think of a better way, you understand, to reignite your workings and make it very proper in order to benefit everyone and sundry. And that takes us to love thy neighbor as thyself. You talk about people just arbitrarily increasing price. Yes, we know that when the dollar was...
Yeah, thank you, Wale in Houston, Texas, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
He brought that whole idea up.
Yeah. Yes, we know...
That price shoot up. Now that things are getting better, are people doing the right thing and bringing prices down?
You must understand the economic reality. If you bought this phone, say at $100, right, in value, and the dollar rate has moved down to about 50, but you have to take that off your shelf, so it will take time to move it out and restock. But the major thing is those who are involved in this market activity must also understand that they live in the same society.
Indeed.
So don't take advantage of others because you want to have some gains.
So selflessness.
Selflessness must come in. Reality.
Let me take Jocelyn, if I got that name right. Jocelyn, did I get it right? Is it Jocelyn in Jos? Oh, Jocelyn. Jocelyn? Hello, Jocelyn?
Jocelyn, yes. Oh. Jocelyn in Jos.
Okay. Good morning to you. Jocelyn. Okay, go right ahead, please. Quickly. You have about 1 minute, sir, because we've run out of time. Go ahead, please. Go ahead if you can hear us. Okay, I knew there was something wrong with that line. So sorry about that, Jocelyn. We've almost run out of time. Even if you had been able to speak, we wouldn't have. There wouldn't have been time for more than maybe 60 seconds for you to have said your piece. But so, Jocelyn, we couldn't speak to you, but we do wish you a happy Easter Monday. And we've come to the end of it. And I think where we've sort of ended it, coming back to selflessness, which is what everybody has been preaching. The president has been leading there. In addition to selflessness, the president has also said, maybe, and I'm going to borrow from Ada here, spiritually rearm ourselves so that we don't curse Nigeria out. So thank you very much to Reverend Dominic as well. Thank you very much to Mr. George in Ikeja, everybody contributing on this whole idea of you just have to look forward. You said the president has been focused on his idea of renewed hope, and let us all be focused as well now, because it's the good thing the president is wanting. So So I want to thank you too, Comrade Ayodele Adewale, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.